Hello everyone and welcome back to Turner's Tutoring. I'm Mr. Turner for our reading video today. And we were gifted with a 5th Friday. So instead of doing just a read aloud and messing up the routine, I am doing a passage and questions from ReadWorks. Now the way ReadWorks is that you can search up all these different passages in different grade levels based off of Lexile or grade level. And then it comes with a question set as well. So today we'll do the smaller question set and so on and so forth. But I've done these in the past, and I've even got a how to use video for ReadWorks that you can check out on my channel. Just search through the different things. Let's go ahead and get started. We're going to first put this to full screen. And then we start always with reading the questions first. So with the question set, we have it to where it's just 5 questions. So this would be kind of like the express one. So how many moons does Earth have? Mercury and Venus don't have moons. According to the text, what causes that? Read the following sentences from the text. What conclusions can you draw from this evidence about moons? According to the text, why might Saturn have fewer moons in the future? What is the main idea of this text? And so we start with the questions because that lets us or helps us guide what we're reading and what we need to be looking for. We have a vocabulary activity that you could do on your own if you wanted to look up this passage in ReadWorks yourself, but we're not going to do that. We're going to go into the passage. So, you could press play, but because I'm doing read aloud for you, I'm going to read it for you, and I'm going to track with the mouse, and you just have to follow along. Now, one of the things that I like you guys to do is I want you, after I'm done reading the passage, to rewind and listen to it again so that you've read the passage twice. So let's go ahead and get started with how many moons. A lot of moons or no moons at all. We on Earth have just one moon, but some planets have dozens of them. Others don't have any. Which planets have moons and which don't? Let's go in order from the sun. Mercury and Venus. Up first are Mercury and Venus. Neither of them has a moon. Because Mercury and Venus are so close to the sun and its gravity, scientists think they wouldn't be able to hold on to their own moons. Any moon would most likely crash into the planets, or maybe go into orbit around the sun and eventually get pulled into it. So pulled into the sun. Because of you, I don't have any moons. Sorry about that. Earth, that's us. Up next is Earth. And of course, we have one moon. I'm so glad we're buds. Mars. Mars has 2 moons. Their names are Phobos and Deimos. Don't you wish our moon had a cool name like that? And not just moon. Jupiter. Next are the giant outer planets. They have lots of moons. As of 2025, Jupiter has 95 moons. The most well-known are Io. That's an I, not an L. Europa, Callisto, and Ganymede. Ganymede is the biggest moon in our solar system. These moons are so big you can see them with just a pair of binoculars. That's pretty cool. Biggest moon, biggest planet. Saturn. Saturn has 146 moons, and that's not counting Saturn's beautiful rings. Saturn's moons have great names like Mimas, Enceladus, and Tethys. One of these moons, named Titan, even has its own atmosphere, which is very unusual for a moon. Uranus and Neptune. Uranus has 28 moons that we know of. Some of them are half made of ice. Lastly, Neptune has 16 moons. One of them, Triton, is as big as dwarf planet Pluto. We've got a good number of moons, right? More moons. Scientists have found many unconfirmed moons. They're unconfirmed because we're waiting to get more information about them. Planets can also gain or lose moons over time. The numbers are constantly changing. Where do you think scientists will confirm a moon next? So, I want you to rewind and listen to the read aloud once again, but we're going to get into the question set. Now, one trick that I always like to show in every video that I do using ReadWorks and these comprehension videos is to go to split screen. And now I have the text or passage on one side and then the questions on the other. So how many moons does Earth have? We know the answer to this. It's C, 1. But we can find our answer over here, Earth. Up next is Earth, and of course we have 1 moon. So we would answer 1. Mercury and Venus don't have moons. According to the text, what causes that? Mercury and Venus. We're going to look for Mercury and Venus. Up first are Mercury and Venus. Neither of them has a moon. Because Mercury and Venus are so close to the Sun and its gravity, scientists think they wouldn't be able to hold on to their own moons. Boom. Always have to use green. So they are made of ice and too cold? No, it doesn't say that. They are too close to the heat of the sun. It does say that. Let's keep reading. They are too close to the sun and its gravity. Those are both unique, or both similar, I should say. They have their own atmospheres. It doesn't talk about atmosphere. It doesn't talk about being too cold, but it does talk about being too close. Is it the heat of the sun, or is it the gravity? Close to the sun and its gravity. So that tells us that it's C. So read the following sentences from the text. One of these moons, named Titan, even has its own atmosphere, which is very unusual for a moon. Uranus has 28 moons that we know of. Some of them are half made of ice. What conclusion can you draw from this evidence about moons? They are different from one another. They are too cold for exploration. They all have their own atmospheres. They must be named after Greek myths. So, some of these are funny. Like the Greek myths, not all of them have to be named after Greek mythology. We know that not all of them have atmospheres of their own. So, unusual for a moon, because it has its own atmosphere. If it's unusual for a moon, that means not all have their own atmosphere. Too cold for exploration. It has 28 moons that we know of. Some of them are half made of ice. You could liken it unto that. They are different from one another. One of these moons, Titan, has its own atmosphere. Has 28 moons that we know of. Some of them are half made of ice, so different from one another. I'm going to say A. Yes. So even though it says too cold for exploration, this is saying they are too cold. That's saying all of them, and it's only half of them were made of ice. According to the text, why might Saturn have fewer moons in the future? We gotta find Saturn. Okay, Saturn has 146 moons. And that's not counting Saturn's beautiful rings. Saturn's moons have great names, which is very unusual. Does that show why it might have fewer moons? Not necessarily. Scientists have found many unconfirmed moons. They're unconfirmed because we're waiting to get more information about them. Planets can also gain or lose moons over time. The numbers are constantly changing. So because Jupiter may still one of its moons, because planets can gain or lose moons, because the sun's gravity may pull it in, or because Enceladus is unconfirmed. The one that tells us the definitive answer, even though it's not with Saturn, is planets can also gain or lose moons. So we're going to say B. What is the main idea of this text? So the main idea is the general idea, or the whole topic of what is being talked about. We don't want details. We more so want the specific or not specific, sorry. We want the overall reaching topic and general idea of what the text is talking about. Ganymede is one of Jupiter's moons, and it is the biggest moon in our solar system. That's really detailed, only talking about Jupiter's moons. Some moons are unconfirmed because scientists need to learn more about them. That's still a detail. That's just one thing that was talked about. Mercury and Venus don't have moons because they are too close to the sun and its gravity. That was just in the first paragraph. Well, sort of first paragraph. That was just in the first planets talked about. That was not the whole text. Planets have different numbers of moons, and scientists continue to discover new ones. Planets have different numbers of moons, yes, and scientists continue to discover new ones. I think that best matches what the overall main idea of how many moons is. So let's go ahead and answer it as D, and that is correct. Very good job. Thank you for participating with a impromptu comprehension passage. We haven't done these in a while, but we do them with the new way that the channel's going. This will be Fridays are reading days, and when we get a fifth Friday, we'll do a comprehension text instead of messing up the read-alouds. But thank you for joining me. I'm Mr. Turner with Turner's Tutoring, hoping that you guys did enjoy this, a little bit different, this comprehension passage. If you guys did like this video, please like and subscribe, and definitely share it with someone else that could benefit from it as well. Thank you, and have a great rest of your day.